Well, in fact, let's just quickly take you through that another image, exclusive image that has now been accessed by Republic TV. This is the image of Sheikh Hasina, the last image before she left from the Dhaka palace, from Gango Bhavan. This is when she has resigned. This was in the presence of the military. So it's clearly what we have been reporting, that she was roughly given about 45 minutes, an ultimatum that was given to her to actually resign. So it's very clear. Remember, with the army chief making this statement this morning that he would be addressing the nation, it was already set in motion that the army would be taken over. What you see right now on your screens, this is the image of Sheikh Hasina. As you can see, in the presence of the military officers, she's basically signing the book. Now, we are not very sure whether at all this is the palace book that she's finally signing, or it's the resignation. It's the last resignation that she is basically signing at this point in time. But these developments that you're seeing right now, that's actually taking place in Bangladesh, clearly an example. We'll stay with these visuals. We'll stay with these visuals of Sheikh Hasina's first image that we are getting in right now. Now, it's important to point, in a short while from now, the C-130 in which she is traveling, she's already crossed, if I'm not wrong. We'll try and also get that very ready quickly. We'll try and get you the first image of the flight radar of the movement of the C-130 which is being used, the C-130 which is being used by Sheikh Hasina, which has already crossed Bihar a short while back, and thereafter we'll stay with these stable visuals that we're going to just put across right now of Sheikh Hasina's last image that we have accessed. Now, I'll just also take you through the details emerging in terms of the movement of Sheikh Hasina. The C-130, it's a military aircraft belonging to the Bangladesh Air Force, which is being used by Sheikh Hasina, and that's
quick question.
crossed over from Bihar and would be entering Uttar Pradesh.
Shawan, a quick question, because you're showing this picture. It's interesting. I find it very interesting that this is the moment when she resigned, according to you, and the army is standing by, which means the army has taken over power from Sheikh Hasina. But still seems like the army is they have allowed her to take a picture and given her a graceful exit, irrespective of whether this is something which is orchestrated by some people within the army. Because remember the statement that came in from the army yesterday, which said that they are going to stand by the people and not with the government.
अभी पैच करने बोलो ना.
Shawan, if you're getting me, Shawan, if you're getting me. Okay, Shawan, drop there. I'll try and connect. We'll try and connect with Shawan again. We have General Bakshi still with us. General Bakshi, sir, thanks for coming back with us. And as we were discussing earlier, there are geopolitical forces at play which wanted Sheikh Hasina to be eased out, because they thought that she, because of her courage of conviction, was an impediment. She was strong on Bangladeshi sovereignty, and some people were not liking it. Would you want to elaborate more on those aspects which might have led to the situation we are in today insofar as Dhaka is concerned?
Absolutely. You see, the fact of the matter is there has been, from the very genesis, the very birth of Bangladesh, a very, very sharp ideological divide and ideological struggle between the Mukti Jodhas who fought against the Pakistan army, against the Razakar collaborators, against the murderers and rapists, and they helped to free their country. Then we had the Bangladesh army officers who had stayed back in Pakistan, who were repatriated at the end of the war. And they still had their loyalty to Pakistan, to Pakistan's ISI. They were, many of them, hardcore Islamists. And they staged the coup. And like in 1975, this is a case of deja vu. Don't forget that that time a coup was in the offing. India had gotten to know of it. The RAW had sent the Aviation Research Center helicopter to fly out Sheikh Mujibur and his family. But he was somehow convinced that his people could never do this to him. He was so fond of his people, and they called him Bandhu. He refused to come out. And that had tragic consequences. The entire family was murdered in cold blood. Fortunately, the Bangladesh army has been though they have tried to distance themselves from her because they seem to sense that with the street she had lost legitimacy. But I'm not very certain. There are forces, inimical forces, not just inimical to the sovereignty of Bangladesh, but inimical to India. Sheikh Hasina Wajed was very well disposed towards India. We had the friendliest of relations with Bangladesh in her tenures. And she had been threatened by Western powers. She alluded to the CIA that they wanted her to cede certain islands to make military bases in the Bay of Bengal.
Yeah, so,
And to participate in certain nefarious activities in Myanmar and on the northeastern border, where a Christian kind of an enclave was to be carved out of Myanmar and Indian bordering states. So very dangerous portents. She said she had resisted these, and today she seems to have paid a price. This is a Maidan coup with a Victoria Newland kind of an imprint all over it. Like you very rightly said, from 30%, quota had been reduced to 5%.